Kendrick Lamar.
He's got a couple songs.
He does. He has a few of them. He performed a lot of them that were probably unexpected, which we're going to talk about. So we can kind of break this down. I have kind of like a track by track breakdown. We can maybe talk about the symbolism and kind of what you guys thought about it in general. Okay. But so Kendrick Lamar performed at the Super Bowl. We got some interesting. It was a divisive performance
very
on
divisive.
many different levels. But what were your general thoughts after seeing it?
It was my favorite performance. Probably a Super
of
Bowl.
all time.
Yeah, just because. I mean, aside from Prince,
that's what Prince is my favorite.
Yeah, but as far as seeing hip hop on that stage, it surpassed the Dre and Snoop one for me, man. Just because Kendrick is my guy, man. It was like watching a live Kendrick video.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, and to me, I don't think there's another rapper right now that could do what he did on that stage, man.
Nope.
Yeah,
I don't think another rapper ever get this opportunity again.
That's another interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a rapper, we don't know him yet. Mm-hmm. In 10 years, there'll be somebody that comes along and is transcendent as Kendrick. We just never know. But of the class of rappers who are out here now, they'd have to put together like a package deal, like a tribute to this, and then all these rappers do it. As far as like
from a solo point,
sticking, just I don't even want to say any names because it would come off as disrespect. Mm-hmm. But no, none of the rest of you can do this. I'm sorry, you can't.
Don't see it.
So just to be clear, this is a Kendrick glazing session.
No,
so
we don't.
This is
if you want to hear some hate, you know what I mean, go somewhere.
We give credit where credit is due.
Yeah. I don't remember who said it, but they said, it's not that I'm glazing Kendrick. I just glaze good art.
Yeah,
and sure,
put it in the kiln, fire it up.
Yeah. It was Professor Sky that said that. He said that. He's like, if you want to say, no, I glaze good art. And yes, I'm absolutely glazing good art. So
I can dig that. Shout out to Scoot Dubs. He glazes art. But I thought this was, it's Kendrick Lamar. It was very polarized and it was energetic. To me, a lot of people were saying it was boring. And I really don't get that angle. It's almost like watching it just to not be entertained.
You know what they say about people that say things are boring?
Yeah, absolutely.
It means they're boring.
Yeah. So he did what he was supposed to do. Like when it comes to being Kendrick, he used this performance to showcase songs that he had not performed before. Because a lot of people were saying, well, why didn't he do We Gonna Be All Right? And what was the other song he said? I can't remember. But anyway, he performed those at other... Before he did that at the last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then he had the very powerful performance. I want to say it was the Grammy Awards where everybody was locked up. Yeah. It was like they was performing out of a jail cell.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick is very strategic when he does these performances. So I kind of feel like when it comes to the track list of what he did, that was very purposeful for him not to do the same songs that he's already done and to still make sense and make it a monumentous occasion for what he did. Whether people understood it or appreciate that or not, or if you knew the songs or if you appreciated the songs. Me personally, I don't think every performance has to be a greatest hits type situation.
That's what people were expecting, you know what I mean? Like, man, he's supposed to come out and do the hits. Like, well, technically he did.
Yeah, because all the songs that he performed on GNX are still in the top songs or whatever you call it. You
top 100.
Top 100, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, he had SZA come out and do a couple songs. And then the inclusion of Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam.
Fire.
So I have the set list. We can kind of go down through it and kind of decipher it as we've seen. But Jay, do you have any?
It was hard when I would see some people with the criticism of the show saying it was boring or whatever. And I was like, first of all, some of you just aren't fans of hip hop like that, and you were expecting it to be a Beyonce concert with Kendrick Lamar,
right?
And this is the thing with Kendrick Lamar, there's nothing he does that you're not going to have to do a deep dive of, or you're not going to have to check for symbolism. There might be something where you went back and had to say, oh, that's what happened there. That is his that's just Kendrick's thing. You know, I personally am impressed that, you know, not that he knew, I mean, because this was all set up before the election, but, you know, the fact that, like, he basically did, you know, this was a protest performance for Commander-in-Chief, if you will. You know, I'm here for all of that. And, you know, I'm here for anybody who is going to be themselves in their performance. You know, I don't think Kendrick took any shorts. I don't think he compromised himself as a man or an artist, or, you know, of course, you know, I think there are just people who, hey, you're not fans of hip hop like that. You don't understand what it is to actually do a good live performance in hip hop, because you're so used to people rapping over TV tracks and jumping up and down, and there being explosions and glass shattering, and, you know, people not being able to finish their verses. I was impressed as much from that, the breath control, the ability to edit himself, you know, continually through the performance. And, like, you know, like I said, I'm looking at the way it's set up from Prison Yard and Squid Games and the street. Like, I'm seeing all of the intricacies of that and understanding that this is something that's shot for television. So it's everything has to be deliberate. He didn't sneak anything in. The only thing they snuck in was that flag situation. But that,
I don't think he did that.
He did not do that, because
but he did sneak some stuff in.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the
he
thing
was
that's
definitely
so good.
gangbanging.
He always sneaks. He always gets some stuff in. But, you know, he got to pass all the people from Apple to the NFL. You know, they're like, all right, well, we don't see anything. So, I mean, there's a lot of medicine in the candy, if you will. You know, and this hip hop's been doing this for a long time. Remember when LL wore the FUBU hat and the Gap hat? You know, like, sometimes that's just how the game is played. But once again, I enjoyed it. This is the music that I like in my personal time.
Yeah, I thought it was. I like the performance. I like to break it down a little bit more nuanced. As far as, like, performance is concerned, I think it was the most creative, artistic halftime show that I've ever seen. And I have an immense amount of respect for that. I don't know if it was the best overall musical performance necessarily. Again, I still like Prince's the most, but
hard to top that.
Yeah, I mean, and it started raining. All things being said, I appreciate deeply what Kendrick did, how he did it, this track listing that the imagery, the storytelling within just the 13 minutes of everything that he did, which we're going to talk about. But even the fact that he made it extremely rap centric. Like, he went out there and rapped. The only choruses on the entire thing were the SZA records. So he rapped the entire time. And when you think about it from that, he's really putting rap at front and center, which kind of cements, you know, what he's kind of been saying about what he said at the Grammys about rap music being super important and most important, blah, 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 and all that stuff. So I was watching it like I was watching like a feature film more than I was watching it like a bunch of music. Yeah. And I think that's what I appreciated about it. So
I think that's true to his performances. Like, all the time. He always sets up a performance that is going to make you think a little bit theatrical than the surface level that you've seen. And I think a lot of people, what they picked up on the Super Bowl was a lot of surface level things. And now, as we're able to watch it back, it's like, oh, okay, I see that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was going to move on from there, but if you have something to say.
Oh, no, and one of the things I enjoyed post-performance were just all the white tears.
Yeah, so that's what so what, you know, is there anything that we can, like, learn from America's response from this? I mean, there's nothing that really kind of surprised me at all. This is exactly what I expected. You know, I know next year's probably going to be extra white, you know.
Absolutely.
But
I don't know. I said that after the G-Funk Super Bowl. And
well, maybe not.
Jay-Z's still in charge.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, you know, but I guess to my 2 cents is nothing has surprised me.
Nah. I think what's going to happen is, and I think Kendrick actually alluded to this by using Samuel L. Jackson to play Uncle Sam. The things that he was saying as Kendrick is performing is exactly how America is looking at this performance.
Yeah, I think he did that on purpose.
That was very purposeful.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they were thinking, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, just from the general consensus of what's going on about this performance, I mean, you have groups over here that loved it. You have the group in the center that are just Drake fans and ain't gonna like it anyway.
You also got people that just don't really care about symbolism or imagery or nothing like that. They just want to dance. And there was a lot of that as well. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. Well, you know, people entitled to like what it is that they like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for me, as a child that grew up with hip hop, you know what I mean? It's a lot. That's one of the things that I really appreciate from Kendrick is because he gave me a little bit of, I mean, he put the medicine in the candy just like I used to get growing up. I didn't, and it's not really the thing anymore.
Yeah, because now it's just all candy.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, like I said, look, I've seen conversations just as silly as, oh, everybody knows Uncle Sam is white. And it's like, you know, it's not,
Megan
It's
Kelly?
not a real thing.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
Megyn
like,
Kelly?
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah,
maybe
so is Santa Claus, right?
so is Santa Claus, so is Jesus, anything, you know.
Yeah. All these made up characters.
But I'm just saying that, like, it's par for the course. Like, that train is never late.
That is so stupid.
It is.
Like, you, Megan Kelly. That's so dumb. You're an idiot.
You know,
I want you to know that.
That's a typical Fox response to something, though.
That's so stupid, man.
Yeah.
you know, but that's, you know, what I was expecting that. And I was happy that, that Kendrick didn't compromise himself in any way and just went ahead and he threw meat in the water for these people to expose themselves as racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, mind
The
you,
meat in the water.
now,
Pause.
yeah, watch. Yeah, I'm sure. Chill. But at the same time, like, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, my mom and dad who are in their, you know, in their 70s watched it and were like, no, I don't get it. And that's fine. But, you know, the people who, you know, so there are people who just like, you know, they don't know hip hop or it's not their music, but the thing is they don't comment on it. Like my dad would probably be like, yeah, I'm happy for the young man, you know. But, you know, it's not like he would have anything really to say other than that. You know, maybe he'd be happy to see Sam Jackson. He's probably entertained by that, you know. But some people, like, as soon as it was done, it was like, oh, this is an affront to everything American, and I don't want to see this, and I'm not here to. Some people,
Why?
they said they weren't here to think.
Why? Because there are lots of black people on stage, and
That was the problem for most.
and was it not DI enough for you?
It wasn't DI enough.
There was too much DI.
I don't
Yeah.
know. How the tables have turned.
DI is canceled, remember? So no inclusion.
I'm sorry, maybe if one of the white dancers would have been good enough,
Yeah,
they could have made it on their own merit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not there. I couldn't dance good enough.
But no, I think it was 100% hip hop though. That was what Kendrick stood on that and made sure that everybody knew that I'm not here to play around with this opportunity that I received, and I'm going to do it my way versus doing it what everybody expected him to do. I mean, because leading up to this, everybody was like, is he going to do not like us? Is he not going to do not like us? Can he not do it because of the court case?
Right.
And he poked at it and jabbed at it.
Let's talk about the set list.
Yeah,
Let's jump into it. So number one, it was produced by PG Lang, the whole thing. You know,
Dave Free.
and Dave Free and them. Yeah, I saw in an interview that he did with Ebro that they have 30 people on their PG Lang team, which I honestly was kind of in the dark about what PG Lang actually was, but kind of good to know. But so he started the set list with, well, number one, he only did records from 3 projects. Well, 2 projects and then the disses. So only off Damn and GNX. Started with the PlayStation game, but it also mirrored Squid Games.
Right. That sound.
The sounds and then, you know, and all that stuff, which is very interesting. If you noticed Kendrick's jacket, it said Gloria on it, which is obviously the last track on GNX, which is also in reference to his pen, which has been
what got
by
him
him
this far.
You know, on the whole thing, which is probably my favorite record on GNX. There was calculated color schemes throughout, so there's only really red,
white, and blue.
And
the
then,
entire thing, and then Kendrick. And black. Everything was very minimal, right? Super limited features, which is another thing, because people were like, well, who's he going to bring out? It was just Kendrick. And I almost think that SZA was only there for a prop for a part of it, which we can talk about in a sense in a little bit later. But
He looked good though.
Boy,
Hey.
So, but again, I said earlier, he just rapped. he just rapped. Like he went to the stage. He just rapped everything. Everything was rap centric. There was no choruses except for the SZA part. And it started out with like Sam Jackson as Uncle Sam, talking about the great American game, which again, this is references to Squid Games as well.
Squid
the
Games,
American dream, America's game. You know, and I guess even like to the extent of like the game of what.
The game you have to play
For it to be at the Super Bowl, like what's he going to do? You know, is he going to do this and that? That was kind of alluded to through Sam Jackson's commentary as the narrator of this as well. Like, what game is he going to play? Is he going to do this or whatnot? So from there, he jumped into the GNX teaser, which is interesting because it was an unreleased song, but he also rapped lyrics that had not yet previously been released.
I expected that.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
So was that when, and that's when the clown car of the GNX, and he was rapping on that, right? And a bunch of people just kept coming out of it. So.
Yeah, that was fire.
Yeah. From there, Squabble Up, I believe?
Yes.
Nice way to set it off.
But then,
I think it was a good way to start just because, hey, that was a number one song for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And then from there, Sam Jackson came back in and he says, don't be too ghetto, which is essentially saying don't be too black.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's pretty much how he set off the show. He set off the show
song,
with that first song that was unreleased, and then he went and Squabble Up.
No, that's too ghetto, too loud.
Yeah. And it's almost like that's kind of the point of where he's kind of starting to get ahead of the criticism a little bit, like of what's going to be happening, you know, which I guess is from all of it. And then from there, it's like he calmed down, right? And then he's like, all right, cool, let me jump into Humble, which, you know, Humble is... You can say it's a humble song, but I don't know if I would argue that it's a humble record.
Nah. And I don't think Uncle Sam would necessarily agree with that section of song selections either.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Nah.
And so he went from Humble to DNA. And I think is that when they like switched the scene to like the street scene?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he did Euphoria. Did you guys expect him to do Euphoria?
No.
I did not expect him to do Euphoria. The way he flipped it though, like, because he performed Euphoria and then it turned into like a doo-wop under the street light, which was a different way of hearing it.
That was Man in the Garden.
That was Man in the Garden. My bad. But the way that he did it and leading into that, I was not expecting that. Yeah. And it's like, as a rap artist, being him coming out victorious, he's still like letting you know that I whooped Drake's ass, and I'm using this stage to let you know this might be the last time that you hear me talk about this stuff.
I pray to God it is.
But me too. But I'm using the stage to let y'all know that I'm in this position, and it might have inspired whatever he did, woke whatever out of Kendrick, but look where it got him.
Do you think that this is I feel like the Super Bowl performance Drake is almost an afterthought. As far as the statement is being made, I feel like it's part.
What do you mean by that?
Like when you listen to like interviews where he talks about he talks about how, like, you know, the culture is the first thing that he cares about when he attacks things, and he jumps in and he does stuff, and it almost felt like he was putting the culture first with everything that he was doing. I feel like Drake represents the other part of it to a degree, but I don't feel like he was taking jabs directly at Drake. Outside of when he was taking jabs directly at Drake, I feel like this was just much bigger. I feel like this. I feel this entire thing is much bigger than Drake.
I do too. But in the same token, with this being sparring, because he talked about pretty much rapping or being in a beef is part of hip hop,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
And the battles and stuff.
The battles and things of that nature, and how when it all started, his intention was to just pretty much show who I am, what I can do in this rap shit. He's alluding to pretty much letting Drake know, and whoever else in the rap game, this is who I am. To me, if anybody else has something to say, this is probably going to happen to you too.
Yeah, I guess I see that as like which is a common theme with Kendrick. I feel like that's one of the entendres there, but I don't feel like it's the driving point. I feel like his main point is this is the way that the culture should be represented. And this is the way that I'm going to show you how to do it. And anybody that doesn't align with it,
you're going to get the Drake treatment.
It's just what it is, or it's just what it is. You know, like it's like what get down or stay down, or what would Bean say? And
lay down. Yeah.
You going to get down or you going to lay down?
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I meant by that. Yeah. I mean, because he definitely has shots at Drake in there throughout. Yeah,
absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
but I feel like that's just like the fun part of
it. Is
you know what I mean? Like
it's it's not what the performance is, but he made sure to include it.
Absolutely.
And then to double down on it, even when alluding to playing or going into Not Like Us.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, I say this much. As far as the whole track list is as a whole, me being a Kendrick fan, I wanted something else. You know what I mean? But I'm not mad at what I got. You know what I mean? Because this it's a pretty much an ad for this last album. It's an ad for GNX, which is rightfully so, you know, what he should be doing.
Because he's going on tour with it.
Yeah, so I get that. But at the same time, me as a fan, there's certain records that I wanted to see on that stage. Now, and nothing that he's already performed. It's just, man, I've been riding with you since like 2009, my dog. Like, let me see something like this. Give me. It don't have to be a greatest hits performance, but give me 1 or 2 records for the people that's really your fans. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not mad at what I got, man. He gave me a hell of a show. You know what I mean, so.
I hope other rappers see this, and I know it's not going to happen, but you know, where we need to step our game up as far as performances are concerned.
I wonder what Wayne thought after watching.
I really don't care.
Wayne probably
I don't care.
Hasn't watched it.
Well,
yeah, I don't care what Wayne thought.
Well, only because
I've seen his performances, and I'm glad they didn't stick him up on stage that would embarrass hip hop.
I agree wholeheartedly because like Wayne would not have done what Kendrick did on that stage. You know what I mean? So you could be disappointed and all that stuff, but after watching that, there's no way you could feel no type of way about not getting that look because you would have never been able to do that on that stage.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. I think that's yeah.
And you know what? And this is just the old man in me. Once again, I love hip hop. I love rhyming. I love the performances. But I'm glad there was somebody who was just a little bit more serious on that big of a stage, representing the culture. Like, I don't think there's certain people I don't want to see him on that big of a stage to twerk. I don't want to see that on that worldwide stage to where hip hop can be marginalized because of just the silliness of a lot of this stuff that's going on.
I honestly think that's part of the reason why
he chose.
Well, not that he chose it. Why a lot of people didn't understand what was going on and didn't like it because they didn't understand that the hip hop could actually be this positive and impactful.
Yeah, I think they wanted to just
buffoonery.
I think they were. It was like, wait a minute, where's the things that what we think hip hop is? Where's the cartoonish materialism? Where is
it was there?
It was there, but where are the girls shaking that? Where's the gold teeth? Where's all
that was there?
But where is it to where we can make fun of it?
Okay,
where it's not.
It's intentional.
It's intentional as opposed to just something that we can point our finger at and say, "Ha ha! This is why we don't let these people come around here."
Nah, I say he did the culture proud. Hip hop, just the culture of hip hop. You know what I mean? He did hip hop proud. And again, I don't think there's any artist right now that would have took that stage and did what that man did up there, man.
And if you think we're wrong, go ahead and drop it in the comments.
Man, please give me an artist that you think would be able to do something to that magnitude, man.
For 13 minutes,
hey, Drake could walk around with his big ass fluffy boots.
Yeah, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah, with smoke coming out of fake bullet holes. But what we got next on there, man? Yeah,
so from Euphoria to what you said, Terry, Man at the Garden, the acapella Under the Streetlight, which was different.
Fire.
Kind of broke it down a little bit and it was a nice little segue, if you will.
And then it alluded to playing the game because Uncle Sam's caption or what he said once that went off was pretty much like, you trying to do it, the old culture cheat code.
So that's the next part. Well, Uncle Sam returns and says, I see you brought your homeboys with you. Old cultural cheat code. Scorekeeper, deduct 1 life.
Yeah. And that's powerful in itself for him to say that.
And what's that mean exactly?
That's pretty much saying, so like generally in black culture or whatnot, when somebody makes it to a certain, this is how somebody makes it to a certain status or stature that is impactful or guiding people in the right direction even if they ain't guiding people in the right direction, just somebody that somebody looks at or looks up to, somebody ends up passing away. 1 life deducted. So he's saying, okay, you're using your people, your culture, take 1 life. 1 life is gone now. So essentially, like, picture them dudes under the street lights, and then after he says that, one of them is gone, unfortunately, passes away or is shot and killed. So
it doesn't mean like with the narration that Sam's doing here, or the scorekeeper, the Uncle Sam guy, it doesn't mean, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. We have to take a point away. Like you need to get that point back. So you need to come over here and do these records.
Well, it can be a double entendre,
maybe.
You know what I'm saying? It could mean this is kind of what I'm thinking.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I had never thought of it either way.
Yeah.
So
it could be the main character ends up dying. I mean, we seen that with Nip. Nip had a cultural impact like no other that was just rising, essentially. He was a positive leader in the community, and then he was taken out.
So after that interlude, it jumps into a record that I didn't really expect, which was Peekaboo.
And it went off. That might have been my favorite record. Oh, dear.
I don't even like that record in general, but I did the Trump hands. But I did actually like it in that I thought it was actually, you know what? Peekaboo is one of those records that actually has grown on me a little bit. Yeah, but they did on the X stage as well.
Yeah, and that kind of alluded to Extension.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if y'all know the history behind the Peekaboo. I believe Peekaboo was a XX Extension song at one point in time. And then when we talk about Drake again.
Yeah, it's alleged.
That allegedly had something to do with him meeting his demise.
He feeds into that too.
Yeah, and then with him performing that song inside of the X. Yeah, there may be some layers to that, and it may be some overstanding going on.
Maybe some coincidence.
But hey.
All right, and then from there it jumps and it teases. That's when like the Not Like Us start teasing, right? So it comes in and it drops, and it comes in and drops, and then he goes into the two women, because there's like talking going on behind it too, and it's like
he's talking to the women.
He's like,
"Are you gonna do it?
Are you gonna do it? Or you're not gonna do it? You know, all this stuff." And then he jumps into Luther, and then all the stars. And I have a theory behind this.
You got to rewind back though, because what did he say when he was talking about that?
I don't know what he said.
I want to perform your favorite song, but you know people sue.
Right.
You know, like they like to sue.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I think it's even deeper too, because then he did the two popular records, if you will. The more
Sam told him to.
Where there was a lot of lip syncing going on. says it was absolutely lip syncing. I feel like Kendrick was potentially too, because he was going from like one side of the stage.
He was at first, yeah.
And I think it may be a little bit deeper in the sense that like I feel like these are the two records that he placed in there just to fit the storyline of these are the two records that you need to be doing.
These are the safe joints.
These are the safe records that America wants to see. Do these records. And so at the same time, he was also lip syncing, and the whole song was lip synced at the same time, because that's the safe way to do it as well. So that's just my own personal hypothesis there. So.
I dig it.
That was there was a couple people that, you know, that's where they became bored too.
I didn't like
it died down.
I didn't like that area time at all. But you know, when I look at it from the different perspective that I just made up in my head, I appreciate it a little bit more. So
it was done by design.
Yeah. And then after that, Uncle Sam returns, and he says, "We're almost there. Don't mess this up." That's what America wants, right? So again, alluding to the affirmation that those are the two records, you're going in the right direction, right? And then we get Not Like Us. Tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. Bigger than the music. Was anybody here shocked that he did Not Like Us?
Not at all.
I wasn't either.
I would have been shocked if he didn't do it.
Nah, absolutely.
I would have been disappointed.
Yeah,
when he did the teasing, I was like,
maybe.
Why would you? Yeah, I was like,
when it first came on, I said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. And then and dropped. But like he did, like to Jay's point earlier, he did a very good job of like editing certain things out as he was doing and everything. And you know, like I saw like this video of some like TikTok creators and they were like emulating what Drake's attorney team was doing. It was like, you know, like waiting for it. But he did a good job of editing the things out. But he definitely said Drake's name and looked right in the camera and just
say Drake.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to say anything because they said it. He let the crowd said it. You know what I mean? So the song is so big at this point, it's taking on a life of its own.
Yeah.
So I don't have to say the stuff that is somewhat incriminating to you. You know, I let the people
not
say
necessarily to him because he's not even getting sued.
Well, no, I'm talking about to Drake.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to say the words that are in this song. You know what I mean? If you're a PDF,
You heard the crowd all say in unison, A minor.
Yeah. Those weren't bots.
No, they weren't.
You know, the thing is, I think what happened at the Grammys was just a prelude. Just like the reason they did it like that at the Grammys is because it was like a precursor. So for the people that didn't know what was going on when they went to the Super Bowl.
I don't think they had anything I don't think Kendrick's team had anything to do with the music at the Grammys though. You talking about when he walked up on stage and they played
everybody said A minor.
I mean, maybe.
Well, I'll say this: the crowd at the Grammys, they're going to know anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. They're going to know.
But I'm saying that became national news.
Did it come? That was news.
Yeah, I thought it was news. Like when you look at every news nowadays is tabloids. Okay. You know what I mean? So when you see Shade Room, et cetera, it's getting replayed on CNN, et cetera.
Yeah.
Twitter. Shout out to Smooth Hoover. Yeah, it's news now. So now that it's become news. Oh, well, when I see that performed at the Super Bowl, I need to do what he did there. You know what I mean?
I honestly think the record is just that big.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge record.
I mean,
it's a cultural touchstone that can't be ignored. You know, there are people that's the one Kendrick song that they know.
Yeah. Like everybody knows A minor. Everybody knows it.
Diabolical.
God tier.
And I think what he said, like, I tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. It's bigger than the music. And I think that's like the whole thesis of this entire
That's exactly.
thing.
It's pretty much wrapping everything up to say why I have to perform this song.
And I'm going to do it, and this is why you just witnessed what you witnessed in that particular piece.
And gotta put him up there.
Yeah.
Got to put him up there.
And then
I hate to be on the other end of a Kendrick Lamar battle, man. Let's just.
I don't think it will ever be another one.
When did Serena come out? Was it on that or TV Off?
It was not like us.
Not like us.
And she was crip walking.
Yes.
And she also used to date Drake.
Yes.
Used to date Drake.
Did they date or was he stalking her? I can't remember.
He was dating. They was dating.
I don't know.
He got into a whole beef with Common about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
And then she doubled down on the.
That wasn't beef. That was tofu.
She did it at Wimbledon and caused a big fuss because she did a crip walk at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And got on there and did it for the whole song.
I just saw somewhere that Drake gave Serena bars in what was the one Family Matters.
Oh, really?
Well, no, I remember Drake giving, like, I can't remember, because I don't catalog Drake's albums like some people do. And I just remember he was talking crazy to a bunch of women. Like, it was real corny. Like, that was a corny moment for him. And, like,
he did that in the past couple albums.
Yeah. And so it was like, is this really what you do?
His real character came out.
Yeah. And so I think that was as much about, hey, man, like, the way you move is so wrong.
That's so true.
That people have come out to really let you know that you're a sucker and a cornball.
Nah, for real.
You sucker.
Let's talk about how big this moment is for Kendrick, because this is the first artist that has performed a full Super Bowl.
Hip-hop artist.
Hip-hop artist.
Right, yeah.
Because there's been others at this point. But
yeah.
Nelly, Diddy.
That's right. Ugh.
And he rapped.
Yeah.
He rapped.
I
think that's an important piece of this as well.
How many views this has gotten up to now? It's already surpassed
Usher from last year.
Yeah, Usher from last year. But as far as who viewed it live, it surpassed Michael Jackson's, who held the record previously. I think it beat him by like 400,000 or something.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
When you think, and there's still this argument from people that nobody really likes Kendrick's music.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's like, how can you say that
Math
at this point?
says different.
Yeah, but once again, it's bots. It's bots.
Yeah, there's a lot of argument as far as
definitely aren't any bots in that crowd screaming, "Hey, minor."
Come on, man. Those are not bots. Those weren't paid for.
There's no way you can watch that performance and have anything bad to say about that, man. If you're a fan of hip hop for real.
Yeah, you can. They're just people that look. They're people who are just like, they're not here for all these words and symbolism. Like it bothers them to have to think too hard when they listen to music. That's been the problem in the culture for
But that still goes to Byron's point.
Yeah,
though.
true. But that's what we've been talking about. That's why you see all these people who should know better, who are supposedly, I'm hip hop, this, that, and the third. Who are like, man, that was boring.
Yeah,
a lot of the people, or general consensus, because I don't like to say people because it hits a nerve on loan.
Yeah,
when you say people,
nobody cares about people.
General consensus are the ones that are just, they don't like it because they think he should have did it differently. And when I say that, what bothers me about that is you're not in his position, and you will never be in his position to be able to say what you would have did in this moment. And just because you have a thesis and thought process on this does not make you smarter or in a position to even be able to be put on a stage like that.
But to interject to that, because I agree with you, Kendrick got on arguably the biggest stage in the world, arguably, at least in America, right? Mm-hmm. And did exactly what he wanted to do and is the biggest to ever do it.
That's what it was, man.
Why would you do anything different?
I don't know.
You don't have to.
No,
you don't.
If you can authentically be exactly who you want to be, why are you advocating somebody to be somebody that he's not? And then that's what these people need to have a real conversation with themselves.
They want him to be what the general consensus, if you will, what they want him to be. Mm-hmm. Like there should be more fireworks. Why didn't you bring out Lotto or whoever? Like like that's where
even thinking that he was gonna bring out a Lil Wayne or a Drake, is beyond me.
I think there might have been a path for that.
No,
had it not been all of the stuff coming from that other side.
No, I don't.
Not Drake.
Nope. No, I don't think.
Maybe Wayne.
No, I think Kendrick is not. He's no.
Think about this.
Just who Kendrick is, though.
As far as Kendrick goes, what would be the biggest F you to Drake than to have your mentor, the person that you say saved your life, on my biggest stage or whatever?
Bring Adonis out.
I still don't see it. I still don't see it. And this is why Kendrick is a champion of the people too, because he doesn't care about giving anybody shine but people from the coast.
Yeah.
No, not himself.
People from the coast. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Well, SZA ain't from the coast.
She ain't, but she's TDE.
But also people he respects.
Yeah.
And he puts credence on that.
And she's on tour with him.
But I think he respected Wayne up until this point.
I think there's levels to it, though.
This is his moment. He was not supposed to bring out anybody from New Orleans. This is his moment. And I'm not obligated to do anything that you think that I'm supposed to do because they did not help me get on this stage.
Yeah,
it's true.
Kendrick is exactly who I thought he was.
Yes.
And I appreciate that about him.
Me too.
That's what it comes down to for me. So.
I think, if anything, he stood on who he is.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And again, to me, like that's we talk about just morals and ethics and just character, and what I look into people that I like to have around me, that's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. And that's what I appreciate. And so he can't do anything else.
You weren't going to cyberbully Kendrick Lamar into bringing your favorite rapper on stage. Like you just need like I said, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Like
take it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And if, show and prove, like start showing up to your concerts, with your microphone on and not high. And then maybe you can.
That is the point.
Maybe you can work yourself into Kendrick's sphere by being a better performer and representing the culture like you actually take it seriously.
You guys have any final thoughts with this? I mean, I think that pretty much wraps up this conversation on the.
I think that pretty much does it.
Mm-hmm.
So good for Kendrick. It feels good to have him in that spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and for everybody that hasn't picked up on the nuances and imagery in the video or the performance, just go back and watch it. And there's plenty of people that are doing reviews and letting you know the breakdown of everything that went on in that performance. But hats off to Kendrick, man.
Yeah. And if you don't like art, just say it.